I've been thinking about autism. Why do some children develop autism? And now it might sound like it's stop life shit. That it's I'm not exactly blaming parents, but the lack of knowledge when it comes to babies and children. It's not the same as having done something with deliberation. But if you have a baby, I mean a child, an infant, and you put the baby in a chair, and you don't talk to the child, and you don't create the connection between yourself as a parent and the child, then, as I've noticed, people with autism have blurry eyes, and not like my name's blurry hair, but it's like they are as lack of connection to the outside world, that it's a bit blurry. Like if you can look someone in the eyes, but people with autism, you feel like the lack of connection. Then there are different degrees of autism. Some children or grown-ups with autism do not have a language, and it feels very painful in the eyes, for me at least, to look into the eyes of an autistic child. I worked with once with very autistic, twice with very autistic children, and it is very painful for the eyes to look into the eyes of them, because it's like the lack of connection, or maybe feeling like looking into that there's also a lack of distance between yourself and the autistic child. Then if you leave a child sitting in a chair and you don't have the knowledge about how you need to create a connection, make the child feel like an individual that you understand, and as a parent that read the signals as the child hungry, and not only that, but if you misinterpret the signals, the child is making sounds or being a bit, and you think, that you think, then you, I don't know, as I think I made a video before illustrating it, that, yeah, and then eating something, but the child is hungry, and something like that you don't understand how to read the signals, or you have the baby sitting in a chair, and you don't talk to the child because you don't know. I do, but some people do not know that they need to have greater contact, and it also has to do with language, because through the contact, not only does the baby understand that mother or father understand the baby's what they are trying to say without words when they cannot speak, and maybe you did not talk to the child. Some people do not talk to babies and create that connection, of the feeling of being seen as an individual. In the beginning, they say it's a symbiosis between the baby and the mother because of breastfeeding, and they are more connected to the mother. And then later on, you make the baby aware that I am mother, and the child has a name that you make the baby understand that there's a difference between yourself and the baby, the child, that you're two different individuals. And if that connection is not created, and if the baby has tried to communicate and or maybe been understimulated, just sitting, staring out into the air, then of course we will look inwardly and not feel that the connection to other individuals, the parents, when it's all, I think often it's probably the first child that, because a lot of parents have a lack of knowledge, language. Yeah, but then I also think that people who have a tendency to develop psychosis, maybe that also the parents have not been good enough at making at creating that understanding, or they maybe they didn't say teach them language, saying this is an organ, and this is we put it into the oven, the cake, and and we listen to music on the radio, and now we are walking. That you're always putting the shoes on your feet and things like that. That too, and the child's name, and if the parents are very all over the place, like not making space for the child and not acknowledging the child as a separate individual, but the parents are blah 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 blah, and not listening to the child, then those very important things to learn cause problems later on. That then you have to solve yourself. Anyone or anybody suffering from a childhood that lacked some of those things. I cannot find a word for it.